Preparing to live stream the meeting. Okay, it's perfect. Okay, so this meeting is being live streamed. I'm having everybody's getting their cameras working. And I'll go through some housekeeping chores with you, see what we have left. And those of you that are having issues with upgrading, I'll show you a site for you to get tech support, plus document where you're having issues. You know, what is it saying? You know, capture the screen to make sure that you can let them know what the issue is in upgrading. Okay, so Pavel, Ryan, cameras, and let's get going. Okay, I'll do some housekeeping, answer some questions. We'll go over some topics also from the chapters in the book, Business Analytics. And I'll make some comments on our projects. And then I'll take your issues. So, Spencer, do you mind moderating the chat? Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So if you have any questions, and put those in the chat, and then Spencer, let me know if there's something that I need to address, and I will. Okay. So we will begin. So let me share my screen. We're recording, so those that come in a bit late can view the recordings. I'm sharing my screen now. A couple of things that I want to do. So I'm going to go to, we see that we're on YouTube Live. That's working well. I go to GH section. And if I look at what's due section, I can see that today on, let me just show what you're seeing so it's not confusing. So if I look at November 13th, we have due the business analytics adaptive assignment plus the regular business analytics quiz. Everybody last time should have submitted the URL and published it along with the team. I'd like you to go back, everyone, and look at your websites and make sure that it's clear to read. Some of you have, for instance, on your team workshop, the last group, I think it's group 8, when you look at your team workshop, your names and things are kind of on white. On white, it's difficult, so you want to make sure that that's done. Upcoming events and domain names. Some of you have already upgraded to your domain name. Some of you are having some issues. Of course, you make sure that you use this code of the Wix Higher Ed Miami as the code. And talked about setting up social media posts and upgrading to Business Basic, creating the name, get found on Google. Here I have a link here of how to get found on Google. And how to turn off your auto removal part. I have a project rubric cube there. I'll talk about that in a while. And then I would like you to go to web links. Everybody go to the web links. And on the web links, and this is what I was talking about, Isabella, when you were having problems, is go to Wix customer support, and please let me know if they'll resolve it even before we even have class on the 20th. Isabella, see if they could resolve your problem. Those of you that once you can do that, you can start, in this case, you can start a chat request a callback, schedule a callback, and see if they can help you. Make sure that you tell them that we're academic partnership and we have this code. The other one is I have for Wix bookings and Zoom. In order to do the Zoom that you asked for, you can go to this link and get information on how to do the bookings and Zoom. As I mentioned before, you cannot use zoom.miami.edu. You have to do your own free version of Zoom. And then those on the SEO Wix is a step-by-step plan to help you improve your search engine optimization, to set up the basics. And you can see here, you want to go to your marketing home and to click get found on Google, and then you can start there. And it's basically a template asking you questions. See as far as you can go, and you can see in terms of that, how far you can go in terms of the SEO whiz. The other thing that I wanted to make sure when we look at what's due is under Miami, this PDF here is the PowerPoints from Ellery from Wix. And in that, if you looked at her slides, everybody's gotten the templates done, but here is on the SEO, the search engine, where we're asking for the relevant keywords in the website and giving your web pages a title and description. One of the things I wanted to emphasize with everybody's website is from the front page, you should make it clear on what is the purpose of not only your website, of what you're doing. How are you differentiating yourself from others? So if you're on doing mental therapy or mental health, how are you different from the other thousands of websites there? So there needs to be clarification there. You can see here on the academic partnerships with the two types of search engine optimization. Basically, you can think about it when you go to Google, right? There's paid searching and then there's organic searching. So if I looked at AI mental health, right? And notice on the beginning already, I have generative AI. I have some videos that are coming up. And notice here, it says sponsored. So this is sponsored versus this is not sponsored. So you can see here on the ways that I can do this people paid for versus those are what we call those organic searches. So you can see then those organic searches are done. And these are the SEO concepts when we consider first is the domain, is the user's search phrase found in the website's domain. Some of you have gotten great domain names that really, as I said before, you could even sell them, but that's what helps you get higher on the search engine if your domain name describes more of what you do. Also, if you have a title and description, so the website's pages and titles and descriptions, you put that in and Wix will automatically then put that in for the searches. Keyword frequency, how often is the user's search phrase found in the website content? So does your keywords really match what your website reflects? How often freshness is called also how high you get up in the search engines, or how often you update your site if it's not stale, if it's not static. That's why it's nice to have your social media when you're going to be update. The quality of the links, if you link to others, what I was saying too, you don't have to create your content, all your content. You can just link to others. So are the other reputable sites, are those sites reputable? So this is the quality of your link. How long people stay on your website is called engagement. The bounce rate, this is interesting. How many people click on the website and immediately leave? So that's why I wanted on your first page that even on the top of that page, you're already differentiating yourself and giving an idea of what your topic is, rather than just having space that I have to go down 3 or 4 clicks down to find out what you're doing. That's called the bounce rate. It's interesting how many people click on the website and leave immediately. How often is the brand mentioned in news and media? Of course, this is what they call brand reputation. We're in the beginning, so that's going to be a little, but that's why many times people want to get themselves in the news and the media. And how often are people mentioning the websites in social media? So that's something that you want to look at, and you can see it. It's in your dashboard in the marketing session under getting found on Google. That's how you can cite. The other part is adding Wix bookings. From the editor, you want to do that Wix app search. Some of you have this already. The booking page will automatically appear. And the booking manager, then you'll be added with sample booking managing, designing it, managing those services, adding then the title description, which many of you did, adding the service type. So in this case, it may be then a class or a course. And this is what it'd be interesting to see if you can get working, is adding video conferencing. And adding video conferencing, we want then, you must save, in this case, we want to click then the button to add a Zoom integration to your services. And the slide says to add the video conferencing, you must save your service first. Connecting to Zoom. And this will be on your own Zoom client, not the universities. And here's on booking elements. So this, and we've done already the contributors, right? Right now we don't have to worry about a branded app, and adding events. And in that case, when you're adding events, you can add also the location and add video conferencing to your events. So this is another one in connecting to Zoom. And again, that back office, getting found on Google with the Wix SEO wizard. Use the wizard. And you may not, in this case, getting found on Google And you can see then that you can, when this was the key of upgrading to the premium plan where we're going to do business. Okay, so these are web links that I wanted you to look at. I put these on the top so you can see these that are available. The other part with what's due, then you can see then the rubrics. And under the rubrics, you can see what I'll be looking at is the navigation, your website of the good design, ease of use, aesthetics, that there should be a contrast, your team photo and descriptions, your homepage description. This is where I think a lot of people have to go back and say, when I go to your homepage description, rather than reading a lot of paragraphs, can I see succinctly what differentiates your project versus other competitors, some kind of like motto, slogan, your domain name.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does that say 2 social media accounts?
At least, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
At least 2 to 3. And this way, what I would do, Andrew, is I would then, it's a nice way to have people be assigned to it, and maybe you'll even have groups of people, but it should be populated, not just put up a Instagram and a few pictures, but it should be postings many times. And you can even, in this case, Andrew, basically have your group respond to each other, so this way you can fill it up as well. Use of SEO meta tags that we talked about, the SEO when you're going to do that guide, video recordings if you're adding potential sponsorships, we talked about it last time, contact pages, and all working links. Make sure that everything works. Sometimes I've seen your websites here, when I'm clicking on Instagram, I get Wix, right? You don't want to be advertising Wix. They put that in by default. You want to make sure that all working links, but are working for you. And the bookings and the Zoom integration, how well it basically overall engages, and a clear and a visible demonstration of how your website accomplishes the goal for your company, the goal for your group of what you're doing and how to differentiate it. So that's where it's a little bit difficult. All of you in general have had, have a general using their templates is pretty good. But when you look at it, almost you have to step back and say, okay, what's happening here? How are we unique? You remember we talked about it last time. I would use that we're students. I would use that as how we are unique. Okay. Other questions that you can do? Anything else, Spencer, that I need to address? So on Monday, I'd like it that you really have covered that project, and then there's going to be fine tuning for when we do our presentation. So you'll continue doing this, the social media. You'll continue if you have short video clips that you want to add on to it, that you can. On Monday, I will review for the exam, which is the following Wednesday when you get back from the Thanksgiving. So on Wednesday, December 4th, we're having a second exam in the SBA, same room as we did before, and we should arrive at least 10 minutes before so we can start exactly at 3:35. So we'll have enough time. On Monday, I will go over the open-ended questions with you. and also give you a review sheet that covers it. But you can think about now, it's all the chapters that we've done since this first exam, plus I will add from the first exam, chapters 4 and 5, which deals with the security and also with data. So that will be added along with the chapters from before. And we'll cover that on Monday, even though there are no in-person classes. The university wants all Monday classes to be online. We don't have a problem with that. We just go straight online, and it's a good time for us to review for the exam. We come back Monday. Monday, I'll also look at your projects again, your updates to your projects, give you feedback on it, and answer any questions that you have about the exam, what will be on the exam. Open-ended questions, I can already tell you, will be on the cloud and AI. So the readings that we did for the cloud and AI, I'll go over those, but those will be the open-ended question, but I'll go over that on Monday. Okay?
Did you say December 4th for the exam?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's
no, December 4th is the presentation. The November 29th is the exam.
Okay.
So let me just put that in and make sure that that's clear for us, right? Thank you. Extra credit if I made that mistake. Wednesday, November 29th, SBA 204 exam in person. Monday, December 4th is the project presentation. And that will be, each group will be presenting, you'll be sharing your screen. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, that we had talked about that before. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to make sure that we looked at was, if you go to PowerPoint and documents, well, let me just go even to assignments and quizzes. If you look at project, in your project, you'll see here the class presentation on December 4th. This will be in class. I'll be giving you feedback. Count on about 7 minutes. I'll give you about 3 minutes in feedback. And before December 12th, you'll be doing a final recording in Zoom. You'll be doing one for me on December 4th, and up till the final one, you'll be doing a final recording that will be longer than the 7 minutes, and will also include any feedback that I've given you of any adjustments that you make based on what I have done. Here's the Wix presentation. Here's the rubric project code. Here's the instruction. And here's another one on the Wix auto renewal and enabling bookings in Zoom. Okay. Any questions? The other thing, if you go to PowerPoint and documents, and under PowerPoints and documents, you'll see PowerPoints of the 9th edition. These are where all your PowerPoints are done. So for the exam, it's chapter 5, data management, chapter 4, security, TG3, which was cloud computing, 14 is artificial intelligence. Chapter 10 is ERP, enterprise resource and planning. And chapter 12, final PowerPoint. And I've done a revised version here that you can open up. And under the revised version, let me just start here, that what we need to know is what's important is in data analytics and business analytics is you need to be able to provide a definition and a use case example of descriptive analytics, provide a definition and a use case example for predictive analytics, and provide a definition and use case example for prescriptive analytics. So if we were talking, and what I would like you to do when thinking about it is thinking about our last assignments that we did on trading and NinjaTrader. Think about how a trading example using NinjaTrader, what would be a use case example for descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. Colin, did you understand those last statements that I said?
Yeah.
What did you understand?
That we have to be able to like know them and provide the definitions for them for predictive.
Right, and a use case example based on what? Based on our assignments that we did for trading. So let's think about it when we're looking at any of those. Ways in which we're thinking about the decision support framework of structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Here is an example they give on the business analytic process, which they're looking for supporting the enterprise. And what did we say the enterprise was? Was a large organization. And in this, let me make this a little bit larger so you can, let me see this on the slideshow. That we can see this, that the business analytic process starts with a business problem. So if we think about our business problems and we want then to be, when we're thinking about trading, what do we want to do, Colin? Do we want to make money or lose money? Make money. We want to be profitable. So you can think, if I need data, the data can be external. You remember what data do we use in our NinjaTrader example? You remember when we went to connections and we went for the end of day? Do you remember that, Colin? We went for end of day. That would be external data. Internal data, maybe we want to be able, we're looking at internally in our organization, we may want to look for retaining students. That would be looking at our internal data. And then we were talking about it before, in trading, we're going to have big data, because not only can we do end of day, Colin, but what we could even do minute or 5 minutes or what every tick. So we would have, even within a minute, we could have thousands of data points. ETL here is what we call extraction. ETL is what we're going to do, extraction of cleaning our data, making sure our data doesn't have any errors in it. And where are we storing it then, Andrew David? is I'm storing it in a data warehouse. Remember we talked about last time, Andrew David, we talked about the idea of I have my data that's non-transact, that is not, basically it's historical, right? So you remember when we were doing end of day in Ninja Trader, right? That wasn't live data. That was data that already has existed. That's where it's in the data warehouse. And now we have 3 different types of analytics that you need to know. We have descriptive analytics, predictive, and prescriptive. Descriptive basically is going to basically describe my data. And it usually in this case is talking about, Andrew David, past, present, or future. Descriptive analytics.
Past.
Past, right? And how could you do the past? It's basically in the data, I could have the average price, right? That if I could do, I could have the volatility, right, of the past. Predictive would be what in this case, Josie? If I'm predicting, is it going to be past, present, or future? Josie?
Future.
Future. That's going to be predictive, because isn't that what we wanted to do in trading? What do we want to do? We did back testing, and back testing is what, Josie? Past, present, or future? Back testing. Past, because we're going back in time. We wanted to see how well our model did backwards in time, but what are we really interested in is in our algorithm to do what? In the future, be able to see, is my stock going to go? It's going to go 3 ways. It's going to stay the same, or do what, Josie? It's going to go up, or what else? It could go down, right? And I could either basically say, let's buy, let's stay out of the market, or what? Let's short. Let's predict that it is going to go down. So in this case, you could use statistical procedures, and many of it is starting in that way of data mining, looking for patterns, looking linear regression, being forecasting in a linear process. And in this case, Dylan, is my stock usually a linear regression? What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, to an extent.
To an extent, to what? What's linear mean? That it's like this, right? Or going down, is that how the stock market runs, Dylan?
No, it goes up and down.
No.
Like in the long run.
Even though we can do linear regression, we're going to be violating those assumptions, right? The market doesn't go. If the market was just going linear all the time, we could be really billionaires and sit on our yacht all the time, Dylan, right? That all of a sudden that would be, what's the idea is that we can have a trend that it's going upwards, right? But we know that it's not going to go all the way up. Or if it's going all the way up, maybe I know that it's going to be some kind of fraud. So, because I know, hey, something's going to have to give, right? But you could see some companies really did almost go linear, right? In certain times, like during like Moderna and others in the big COVID rush, right? Now and Zoom really did well, right? Remember, you almost did it linear. But now it's front. And then we have logistic regression that a lot of times we're talking about that it's not linear. We're talking about polynomial. What could happen? Prescriptive analytics is basically what should we do? And in trading then, what should we do, Spencer, would be what? What question we're always asking ourselves in the prescriptive is what? Should I buy? Should I sell, or just be out of it, or short, right? This is prescriptive. Tell me what to do. What should we do? We know that it looks like it's going to go up. So now what should I do? What should I set my algorithm to? So this is very nice in the way that we talk about descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive, in the way that we talked about it in our assignment when we started modeling our back testing. But what do we really want to do is say what's going to be in the future, and then what's going to be in the future. Now tell me if such and such, and then our SMA crossover, then buy, then exit my trade, then short my trade. So this is the actionable business decision or my recommended action. And of course, what are we going to get there is we're going to get some kind of graph, just like we did with our Ninja Trading. Remember, we had the graphs. Remember, we got the reports. Remember, we did the optimizations. And the underlying technologies, this is where AI is going to be inserted. Do you understand, Dylan? This is where, when we're going to be doing any of those forecasting, the prescriptive, this is where AI is going to be included into the Ninja Traders and the other platforms. And specifically with their libraries, this is where people are going to concentrate on. And if I'm a high frequency trader, even more. And it may be just very much, it's really good in terms of we're just looking at a certain industry. We're in the biotech industry, or I'm going to be in financials. And what is this? Increasingly, underlying technologies is those GPUs. So that's why NVIDIA did really well. And all of this is saying, now I can do my AIs with that graphical processor units. This is what was being used even for gaming, right? Those of you that have been involved in gaming is basically those GPUs. And what am I going to be able to do? High volume storage, increase faster, broad internet. We were even seeing this one, that we wanted our servers to be right next to the stock exchanges. And then what we wanted is Google and the others, because the cloud was a little bit slow in terms of that gap in time. So if I blink my eyes 5 times, that would be too long of a time. If I was doing high frequency trading, I want to have that. And see here, neural networks, this is part of AI, that it's trying those synapses to be able to use the AI. Machine learning, that the machine will start learning all the different patterns. And what was the beauty? We even started a little bit of optimization, right? I don't want to do every company. If I have an algorithm, let them do this, but in basically in machine learning, see maybe the tech industry, maybe the automotive works differently and there's a different pattern. Maybe it's the time of the year, if I'm in retail, that it will do machine learning and give me deep learning. So all of these underlying technologies will add to it. And then you can see even Excel, where they're now doing the co-pilots, right, that help me, multidimensional online analytic processing, or what we used to call pivot tables, that you're familiar with, the data mining, the decision support, and all of these descriptive. So I can use these for my descriptive analytics. I can use a sensitivity analysis. What if something happens? What's happening? A lot of goal seeking, I can use it in Excel. Google Analytics. Basically, we're going to be doing the SEO, the search engine optimization, and based on the search optimization, Google then will look at the patterns of who comes to your website. Where are they coming? Basically being able to forecast, giving you Google Analytics. Data mining, you can think about it. Data mining for predicting where there's going to be crime, predicting in healthcare, what are certain symptoms. In marketing, of course. What's going to be the future? Of course, I'm going to have to forecast. That's what business is all about. Is what? The future, I don't know what it is. None of us know. Who succeeds more is those ones that are going to reduce their risk, right, in risk assessment, and be able to have more probabilities that will succeed. That's the only difference between those that succeed and not. None of us know what the future is. It's on timing. And even when the market is going down, there's certain people say, hey, this is the time to invest, when everybody thinks it's going to go down, or they're going to think it's going to go down. So now I'm going to bet that it's going down. It's a timing issue. So in this case, you can think about it, dashboards. We've seen dashboards already. And in dashboards, basically, what am I going to think about? What's going to be is that I can go down to drill down. What does that mean? That I can go into detail. That's what drill down is. Key performance indicators are those key variables that are important. So for instance, in trading, is volatility important? Is seasonality important? What's the trend? We're always looking at in trading, right? The trend, but a lot of times we're looking at it. Is it during a day where I do day trading versus swing trading that may be a couple of days versus months or years? And then find me those outliers. Find me those that are really have done well these past 6 months. Maybe they're not going to continue doing well. Maybe I missed that bubble. Find me those, what they say, those dogs of stocks. Maybe now they're going to do well. And you can see here the dashboards. And these dashboards, you can tell, are programmed for different people in the organization. My CFO, my chief financial officer, is going to have a different dashboard than the head of sales. So you can see here website visits. So this is basically my Google Analytics. You see that? How many people visited my website, how many people downloaded my evaluation, how many qualified leads for my salespeople, and then my revenue versus marketing. And this is what I call KPI. What's a KPI? Key performance indicator. That if I look at these key performance indicators, I want to see its trend. Sales per download, my revenue per sale, my profit per sale. I want to maybe in this case, my what if, basically look at my best customers, look at my products that provide the best profits. And these are those dashboards. So what we want to look at is in this revised version, I put a description for you. So if you were asked that question in the exam, not only give me a descriptive statistics column, what is that summary of, summarizes the characteristic of a data set. For example, if you could use NinjaTrader to calculate the following descriptive statistics for basically a stock, for MSFT. So what would it be? The average price of the stock over a period of time. Where we're talking about the average and we're taking past data and describing it. The volatility of a stock, which is measuring how much the price fluctuates. So why do people like crypto? A lot of times crypto fluctuates much more than traditional stocks. Can I make more money when it fluctuates higher? I sure can. Can I lose money a lot quicker? I sure can. And trading volume is also the number of shares of the stock that are traded each day. What is it? All of this is descriptive statistics. It's going to be describing my past, present, or future. It's going to be describing my past. And then if I think about predictive statistics based on the trading, my predictive statistics uses historical data to forecast what? The future. That's the key here. The past is somewhat good for me to see for the backtesting how well my algorithm worked. But really what's key is how well I'm predicting. And then I keep on predicting and seeing, does my model, where is it going awry? Is it over predicting, meaning when it's going up, it tells me it predicts over what it actually did? Is it under predicting? So I can see the patterns of that predictive statistic. Is it going to be 100%? If somebody says, I got 100% predictive model, you know that they're selling you bull, right? That's impossible. But they say, hey, I'm basically more times than not, I'm successful and my losses are less than my gains. So this can be useful for predicting the future price of a stock or future price, of course, a predictive of anything that I do, right? The price of the real estate, right? Anything that I invest in. So, for example, you could use NinjaTrader to perform linear regression on that historical data, but you know, Dylan, that we probably would have to look at other models, right, Dylan, like polynomial models, and maybe we'll do that in another time, Dylan, that we'll look at that and see, is that more accurate than just a simple linear? Linear may be able to give me maybe, let's say, 60% accuracy, and trying to do polynomial or non-linear methods may get me to, let's say, 70% or 80%. Is that worthwhile? Yeah. So if you looked at large hedge funds, most likely they're not going to be using linear regression, but they'll give you a they'll give you a trend on that. So that's how you want to look at predictive statistics. And the other one, of course, is prescriptive. Just like I need a prescription, tell me what's wrong, right? And tell me now what to do. Okay, you said that I have this disease, right? Now prescribe how am I going to get better? So it's the same thing. Okay, it predicts it's going to go up. It's 80% confident. Now, based on that and based on the model, based on the economic situation, the prescriptive, even if it thinks it's going up, it may decide to say, hey, they know that I'm risk wary. It may say, you know what, Dr. Rush, don't get in. Just leave the market for a while. When I'm 85% confident, then we'll go in. So the prescriptive statistic uses data to make recommendations. Here's the key. You need to put in your notes here is that prescriptive is make recommendations of what to do in the future. And this can be useful for making decisions about when to buy or sell a stock. I'd put another point in there, when to just not be in the market. Because I don't have to buy or sell, right? I can say, hey, listen, I want to go to cash or something. And it may be depending on what are the interest rates, you know? After, with that COVID, interest rates in the bank, it used to be 1% a year, and then you can get a lot more because of the interest rate. You know, the Fed all the time with inflation going up, they've been trying, interest rates have gone up. So for the example, then, NinjaTrader could calculate the moving average, right, which we use for a stock, and use this information to do what? Generate a buy or sell. So even though we said when the fast moving averages crosses above the slow moving average, right, that's the prediction. I'm predicting that. Then what's the prescription? Generate a buy or sell signal or exit. You see that, Andrew, David? Makes sense? It's taking what we did before and say, okay, how could we apply it to these statistics? And it doesn't matter. And it's an excellent example of the trading because what? We got large amounts of data, right? And it's hard to figure out what's happening. We can stare at a screen all day long, and this is where I want my models. This is where I want my algorithms. And guess what? This is where AI with machine learning and deep learning can start adding to that, because it can do what? It can work 24/7. And guess what? We can have a number of computers working together, clustered together, and trying it, just like we did before with the optimization of getting 500. We can do, 5,000. We can go out to dinner, let it keep on running. We can do what? We don't have enough GPUs here. What can we do? Go to the cloud. Basically, think about clouds as a service. What are we doing? Basically, renting out those machines that are much more powerful. And let's say we just have certain projects that we're doing that we need even more GPUs rather than buying more and more hardware to do it. Use the cloud to do it. At least to give us the prescriptive statistics. And later on, Google's and others are working with a lot of the stock exchanges is to lower that amount of time where we have gaps in time. And this is a nice table to describe statistics for trading. You see that, Isabella? I have my statistics for this chapter: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. And I ask you here, describe the statistics for trading then. What is it? Summarizing the characteristics of the data test. What's an example of that? We did the back testing, right? That back testing, we summarized it. And what's the example? I have an average price. I can have volatility, my trading volume. I can do it all by what? Summarizing that data. Predictive, using what? Historical data, but what? Forecasting the future. This is my back testing. This is when I use my algorithms and we ended up seeing, were we accurate in forecasting? Was today we said that Microsoft is going up tomorrow, or the trend is on Monday it should go up. Then what are we going to do, Dylan? Is then we'll look on Monday to see how accurate it was, but we're going to see all the time, and we can create even a spreadsheet to see, keep on adding to just check what is the accuracy of my forecast. This is what you need to establish. It's not it'll be a one day, you know, like somebody will say, oh, I made $1,000 today or made $10,000. What do you care what they made today? What do you want? Over a period of time, what was your yearly rate? And also many times what they want to do is, what is your drawdown? That if I lost so much money that they're going to kick me out, my broker isn't going to even let me trade anymore. I got these big wins, but guess what? I got such big losses that I couldn't even handle it, because a lot of times you're going to be on margin when you trade, and they're giving you basically like loans, short-term loans. And they say, hey, Dylan, you can't continue trading. We're stopping your account. So this is what you need to do here on those forecasts, and then using that recommendation, what to do about the future. You're always keep on checking via those analytics how well I did. And guess what? These algorithms work well for certain periods of time. So in a volatile market, one market will be doing well. In a market, you know, high inflation, another market will be doing well, depending on industries. During COVID, some markets did tremendous, or some markets really went down, so I could predict that going down. You know, when interest rates go up, maybe in some markets, then real estate will have a problem. In some industries, maybe it's good. Now inflation is going down. What markets is that going to affect? Did you hear that all of a sudden they say, hey, hiking all those interest rates now is reducing inflation? What's going to happen? Now the world is going crazy, right? You can't help but hearing all the horror stories in the world, and everybody's saying, I don't know, is Iraq going to get into the war? We're going to have, you know, another even worse war. What's that going to do? Which market should we go? What's happening with currencies? If people can do those predictions, then basically we test that. Questions? So you see how I wanted to bring to life, where you say, okay, what do I care? And what's going to be behind this, Dylan, is all the AI. That's really where I want I want it to find the patterns. I don't see the pattern as a human. But what I can do is I can start writing some of the rules, and I can start checking to see where it fits and where it doesn't. And it may have to be very, very fine-tuned to certain markets, to certain countries, certain industries. This algorithm, almost to predict, this algorithm will work for a month. Now we're going to have to switch. So what do I want is I want, that moving average that we talked about, right? That crossover moving average. Go find me. Then there must be thousands of different algorithms you can do. Have the AI system try to find you the best. And will it work all the time? Of course not. And it's just guessing too, based on, it has to improve, just like all those other chat GPTs, they start hallucinating. We're expecting in a year from now that they'll get smarter and they won't hallucinate as much. And then we'll be able to pinpoint it better. You saw that when we were doing the personal AI with Suman. Did you see that, Dylan? Where he was training it and we got to see where it was making mistakes on him. And if we didn't know it, and he didn't know, he was surprised himself, right? How long, this is his product, he's been training it. It has to go back, and he has to go back to his programmers and others and start refining it and telling it this is where it's making a mistake. What is it about it that it thought that he was from Florida too? Did you see that? When they say, oh, I'm from Florida too. And obviously when you look, you met him, this guy isn't from Florida. But if you didn't know him, you take it as its word. And that's almost how that AI is with so quickly doing disinformation. So you're going to take it, and if we're making decisions on AI, sometimes I like why people don't trust it. They shouldn't trust it. You have to verify it. Where people are scared about that AI, they say, oh, I don't know if it's going to be, trusted. It's almost like we have to verify it, because it is going to make a lot of mistakes. The difference is it going to make a lot of mistakes when we're doing little simulations? It doesn't matter so much. Or we're doing exercises about ourselves, isn't an issue. But when we're talking about my money, all of a sudden I'm losing, and it's going to lose like this. I can be bankrupt in a second. With myself here, I can, till I move myself, I can do second thoughts. Having it as automation right there, before I said stop. That's why you want to do those controls. If it's losing more than 1%, I want out. Get me out of this, because I know that it's not going to be 100%. Okay. Questions? So let me stop sharing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop a few minutes early today. And if you want me to look at your projects or you have some questions, otherwise we'll meet on Monday. So I suggest each group needs to finish up. You all have work to do, and I would concentrate on, can I see a theme here? Can I see immediately when I open up your website, can I see do I know what you're doing? Is it succinct? How you're doing it differently? And just have fun with it. Questions? Spencer, do I have anything with the chat? We know this Monday we're going to have class. We know that when we come back from November 29th, we'll have our exam. The 20th, we'll do a review. The 29th, we'll have our exam. And the 4th, we will do our presentations. I'll give you feedback. And then you'll put all of it together. Okay, so let me now share my screen. We'll do attendance. It loads. I start checking. 5574. Stay with me if you have questions. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday. Those of you that are flying out or driving, be safe. And we'll get everybody here on Monday. And we won't have a problem. We're on Zoom so often. So we can just come in. That's what we love about Zoom, right? We can be anywhere in the world and we're together. Okay? 5574. Everybody have it? And I'll be happy to look at people's projects, look at what you need.
Professor, I had one question.
Sure, Franco.
Yeah, so regarding the exam, I didn't hear well because I ran to the bathroom real quick.
Okay, fine.
But like I know it's in 2 weeks. However, like what is coming? Like, is it coming like everything we saw after the first exam?
Plus chapters 4 and 5.
So chapters 4 and 5 are coming as well, because
Yes,
I believe they were in the first exam as well.
right. And you're going to get it again. But they're
Okay.
important chapters because it deals with data and security.
Okay, so it's kind of cumulative then.
With 4 and 5, right.
Okay.
But
Okay,
it's not with
amazing.
TG1 and TG2 and 1 and, you know.
Okay. And will you post another review guide for the second
We're
exam?
going to do it on Monday.
Okay, amazing.
We're
Thank
having
you,
class
Professor.
on Monday, Franco.
Okay. Yeah.
And the beauty here, we don't care where anyone is, right? Everybody can, hopefully has internet and they can log on.
That's right. That's right.
Isn't that
Thank
great?
you, Professor. Yeah.
Isn't it, that's fabulous. Where are you going to be, Franco?
Mexico.
Mexico. So
Yeah,
hopefully
back
you get
home.
internet on Mexico too, right? You have internet
We
there.
do have internet in Mexico. Yes. Thank you. Have a day.
Some places in the world today do not have it. So we'll be happy about that too, blessed. Okay, you going to Mexico City or what?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Flying out
I
tomorrow.
spent Christmas in Mexico City. It was one of my favorite
Oh,
Christmases where
so
I
it's a
loved
nice
it.
place.
Yeah, it's a nice place. Warm hearts. Okay, Franco.
Take
Ciao.
care. Thank you.
Ciao. Okay. What else?
Hi, Professor.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. So for the last like week and a half, I've had an issue with my Blackboard, where it just doesn't let me like click on any assignments or anything. But I just got
What happened?
I don't know. I talked to IT.
Yeah, what'd they say?
And they got it
Yeah,
fixed.
that's not good.
Yeah, they got it fixed. So they were just saying that there was like an error with my account or something, and it just like was
Oh,
like there was like a
yeah,
bug.
for sure.
So do you mind if I turn in like some of the assignments?
So guess what? Do me a favor then. Get a documentation from those guys. Everything's documentation, right? So get documentation from those guys about fixing your accounts. And then let me know which, then you'll be able to see which, how long has that been?
I don't know. It's been for a little bit now. We
Well,
were trying
when was
to get
the
it
last
figured
time
out.
you did an assignment? Have you been to class?
Yeah, I have. No, I did chapter 12, I think. There was
Okay,
like one or two that didn't work before that, but I can go and double check.
yeah, double check and then put in a note there from the documentation of what they're fixing for you.
Okay, and then do you just want me to like get an email from them or?
Yeah, you get an email from them or what was the problem or something like that, and then you can put it in so we can have documentation, right?
Sounds good.
It's like that's how we operate, right?
Yeah, of
We
course,
don't
of
have
course.
control. None of us have control of the server. If you would have come to me and say, I can't get into Blackboard, what would I tell you? I said, I have
Go
no
to IT.
administrative control. So what do we want to do is we always want to document what we have, and then we make accommodations from that. But what we want to
Yeah, of
do is
course.
to be able to make those accommodations. We want to see what are the issues. And so what's with your group,
What do you mean?
your project? How's that
Like,
working?
what do we? Oh, it's working.
What-
It's working good. We've been able to
Okay,
like
so
go around.
you're able to work on what have you done in your group? Remind me what your group is doing.
We're doing wealth management.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So all right, thank you. I'll
all
get a
right.
documentation.
Yeah, just get documentation. So you have it in your file too. Then later on, when when somebody's asking, well, why'd you give him extra time and no one else, you know?
Of course. Yes.
You're right, that everybody can come up with a story, right?
Of
Not-
course. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to be saying, you want to feel proud. Hey, it wasn't because I was just, you know, telling stories. This is my issue. And then you want to learn how to do that too when you supervise others, right? And also see what is the problem. And then they could see what is the pattern. Why is Blackboard going down? Because other people have had problems with that too, you know? What is
Yeah.
it about your account? So IT
Okay.
can see it too. Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right. Thank you.
So we'll see you Monday.
Yes, of course. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Okay. So let me stop recording and then I'll get to you, Wei. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Mister.
We don't need